Hey Sagittarius, how are you doing? How are you doing as of, let's see, we're heading straight into this solar eclipse before your full moon, I believe, later on. And, but the solar eclipse in Gemini. So either big information or big time communication, something big. Something big. So I've got the divine doors out. We'll get a few of those for you, and then we'll get straight into the tarot. And let's just head right into it. See how you're doing. And we'll read the cards at the end. Okay. Now, making progress through... It's like there's patterning. There's this patterning of shadow and light, yes? And again, both are what they are. One's not, I don't hold dark as bad or light as good. They are part of nature, and they're part of making any picture. And then at the end, we also have something holding together. Holding together, part of it is obviously eroding. And then we have nature at the end of it. I've got some greenery here, but with a wall. Sort of like the Sun card. Okay, let's see. What else for Sagittarius? Sticking. All right. Now this is the first door that I ever used from this deck. And they just had a little chat with me about it beforehand. Because it came through for Gemini, I think. Now typically I'm looking for a deeper blue to know that I've got a message from an ancestor, somebody who's passed over on the other side. And then I paused because Leo and Aries both got messages from an ancestor or somebody more immediate that passed over, yes, that they were connected to in this life. And I thought, well, what if that doesn't happen for Sagittarius? And what about that lighter blue card for Gemini they put in my head? And Gemini's reading had to do with understanding what God had been doing. God had been pulling somebody's strings in Gemini's favor, and the person didn't realize that they were being played to their own weaknesses for the greater, for what was needing to be done that was good. So let's find out what this card means for you. Orange energy. I've been dealing with orange a lot lately. Over here in Canada, the 215 children, the orange has become their color. Recovered from a mass grave in Kamloops, residential. Let's not call it a school, it's a torture center. But that got me looking up the Orange Lodge, because I have family history connecting to the House of Orange, the Orange Lodge in Belfast. And I'm not happy about that history, but it's something that my family and ancestors have me dealing with. And the Orange Lodge is extremely important in Canada. Well, important, shall we say instrumental in Canada. So for the color orange to be used in at least in, I don't know if it's completely in retaliation against the red and white of the Canadian flag, but orange is as much a color of the oppressors as the red and white. and maybe even more so. John A. MacDonald, they're tearing down his statues right now, and he was a member of the Orange Order. Still active. And of of the countries who belong, well, who were stolen by the Crown and the Vatican, Canada is listed as the most important of the lodges in the so-called colonies. So, what I want to say is the communication coming through for you, Sagittarius, is from an ancestor. I feel quite clear about that now. This is not a recent family member. This is not someone you know, that you knew in this life, that you lost in this life. This is someone going back further. Beautiful. All right. So, tremendous perspective and power coming through. Should we expect less during a Gemini Sagittarius event? Just breathing into the cards a bit. Who is this well, who are these people, right? Because there's more than one Sagittarius. Love it. Okay. So, what are they wanting you to know? And it might take a while to figure it out. Interesting. This affected Leo as well. It came out in the reverse. Transformation in your... Now I put this as Virgo, so Hermit energy. Others would put it as Taurus, but not me. I put this as 6th house. Because it's the transformation before becoming... I match the energies, the card energies, to the houses. Not the cardinal points, like Ptolemy does. But we're at the transformation before career energy. Okay, before proving yourself to yourself. You're deciding what to prove to yourself about yourself. You know, what's worth it. Now you've got past the 6 of Pentacles, which is a gift of some level of free will, however much, given the context of what you know of the universe, right? And it's a prison universe. There's more against you than for you, okay? As far as I'm concerned, as far as the evidence points to. If we want to ask the trafficked children what they think, and the kids blown apart in war, people that are born with, you know, well, just even into really the life, birth, death cycle itself. To have consciousness and then to be forced to face a death experience. So, what is your sense of free will or soul contract, okay? Then it leads to this, that level of understanding leads to making this transformation possible of who you are in the world, who you are going to commit to being. Aha. Yep. Who are you going to be as Queen of Pentacles? For me, this is Capricorn energy, 10th house energy. What's your reputation going to be? What are people going to know you for? What are you going to put all your time and effort into? Or the bulk of it, yes? Interesting. All right, so just a tremendous amount of matrix situations. But there's a deep spirituality to this, because this looks after all the spiritual work. You get this right, and then the spiritual work is maintained, you know? Or the adventures, or the, you know, whatever it is that needs to be funded, that gives you the independence, right? To fund your own interests that are not necessarily profitable. That's what we're talking about. So we have this institutional card of the synagogue, church combined, which is already an interesting statement. we have this tree of life, these, you know, we could say Kabbalah, but it actually comes from Kemet. It's Egyptian. The 10 aspects of God, right? Disputable at this point. So this necessary change that is suspended between the 4 of Pentacles, stability and guardedness, and the 6 of Pentacles, right? This gift. So there was isolation. There's pending isolation. Let's see. And this is a message coming from someone who's always been involved in your life because they have that distance on it. You get what, you know? They've watched it all. They know exactly who you are. Whoever this is knows exactly who you're meant to be. Look at this. There's so much certainty coming through here because now we have the independence card and the entrepreneur card. So, and proving yourself to everyone else. You need everyone else. So who's your tribe? Who are your tribes? Who are your markets? Who are your audiences? Because we have 2 Virgo. This is also Virgo energy for me. 5, 6, 7 is Virgo. So hermit mode, problem solving, preparing for health routines, work routines, you know, knowing what makes you happy, knowing your chart. For me, this is Taurus energy, right? It's cardinal energy. This opportunity, this Ace of Pentacles, presented by somebody. Somebody with young energy, or at least a lot of fresh energy. Somebody's coming. Somebody's coming. Or what? Well, let's put lunar energy. So the eclipse coming up. For me, this is Kali, Grandmother Spider, Mother Mary, Hecate, Oshun, Yemaya. Now, possibly more Yemaya than Oshun because of all the blue. Oshun tends to identifies with yellow and bronze. But, you know, whoever the female aspect of God is that you feel connected to or that you need to connect to. And there's possibly been a disconnect, right? Because she's stuck sideways. Because of this interference, yes. And so, interesting. Or an opposition too, yes. Wow. The timing, yes. So a Jupiter cycle was involved. Something to do with ages 12, 24, 36, thereabouts. It's actually just under 12 years that it takes Jupiter to transit the sun, to orbit the sun, I mean. And so it was going to take certain turns of the wheel for you to reach King, Queen. Based on your placements, based on who you are. In your chart, it actually can be read for how long it's going to take you to reach. How many cycles, how many turns, how many Jupiter cycles. Because the wheel is Jupiter. And Jupiter runs in cycles of just under 12, right? Okay. So, it's a question, yeah, it's a question of timing. It's been a question of timing. Based on your chart, based on who you are, and where your King and Queen of Pentacles energy rest in your chart. because we come in at different stages for different areas. Yes. Again, so you need to know your chart. Or at least for, well, it's always a good idea to know your chart, especially through your lunar placements, which include, of course, your moon placement, your Lilith placement, your north node, and your south node. Okay? So if you don't have clarity from life about what you are supposed to be doing, then you can certainly get clarity from your birth chart. And they will, it's actually your fourth house will determine, it'll get that, it's your compass, okay? And everything else starts to fall into place. But it did have something to do with, you know, yeah, something to do with Jupiter cycles. And how your chart is placed. And that's because that's the main, and this is, okay, and again, Jupiter is you. Sagittarius, this is your ruling planet. That's why. It's your ruling planet. Now, there's another thing about whichever planet was, however it's placed in your chart when you're born, and that is also, that it might actually more be your ruling planet. But let's just say Jupiter's, the wheel is coming out now. And given that you're Sagittarius, you probably needed to go on a ton of journeys, gain a ton of experiences to have, you know, to get to the truth, because the truth is not anything quick to understand. And that's why you're Sagittarius. The question is, are you always Sagittarius? What is your perspective? At this point, what is your perspective on everything? This is what they're inviting you. And I would expect dialoguing with, you know, having conversations with this person is one of the goals, because they're actively in your life. Okay, why is the Queen of Cups in reverse? Why is psychic communication down? It's interference. Okay, let's find out. Let's start with this one. Patience. Okay, that's you. That's Temperance. Everything soon will come to light, and then you will see things will be all right. Well, soon, in terms of the solar eclipse. And what were they saying about patterning? Patterning the cycles. How many cycles it was, how many turns of the wheel it was going to take to get all the truth. And rightly or wrongly. Okay, deeper. I already know it, right? Deeper. You are not finished. You're not yet done. Dig deeper and deeper. The best is yet to come. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So since childhood, right? If we look at this as a childhood card, since childhood, there have been interferences. And now it's a matter of transforming into this final phase. Holding on to a pentacle, holding on to a pentacle, holding on to a pentacle. But then, what you do, right? She has released her pentacles. He is contemplating the pentacles, very much in a hermit kind of pose, yes. Hold on. Patience, temperance. Again, so this Queen of Cups reverse. Silent skill. I challenge you to unpack your mind. In meditation's grace, the soul can unwind. Breathe in, breathe out. Let go of doubt. So something's happened to knock out this emotion. Now, you have been dealing with tremendous amount of exhaustion. If we're talking about the same storyline as has been coming through. Anything else then what about this Queen of Cups? Because this Queen of Cups, well, this Queen of Cups has been upside down because of the interference with the High Priestess, with whoever the female. Aquarius energy for me. But swords, you know, mastermind swords energy. The Sword of Truth. This is actually a Kali card for me, and it is often in the Morgan Greer's, it's my mother. I would say I've got one queen beckoning another queen. So I want to say that whoever is speaking is this Queen of Swords. Now, if you can identify somebody who's swords energy from your family, then that's who it is. But this might go back far enough that you don't even know who this person is. Even if they repeat lifetimes. And it could be male or female, of course. But posing as this deeply connected to feminine wisdom. Yes, logic. High Priestess. And clear thinking is needed. I think that leading back to the Three of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, so Taurus energy again. A situation is coming. A situation is going to be presented. A Three of Pentacles situation is going to be presented. Collaboration of some kind. Or a way to make things work. Because in Virgo energy, you figured it out. But this transformation is coming. Because there's an opportunity right now. Okay, I think this is the last card. See if this is in the shot or not. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. So there is no death. There is death, but there is not death. There is eternity. There is life. Pluto energy here, taking the dead energy, bringing it to living energy. Hidden powers. Pluto, your hidden wealth, your hidden powers. What are they? What are they? This person knows. Do you know? Do you know? Without communicating. See, this is Scorpio energy. This is full communication with guides. So again, we come back to, in order to get everything aligned, start communicating. So again, like I was saying, okay, I was saying to Leo, they had me. The family member to Leo was saying, if you can set up an altar to whoever this person is and start building that connection, there is someone. There is, I mean, there are many people, but this person right now is taking the lead on behalf of God. And so if you can set up even a bit of a space for them, However you're... The timing is here, and it is Queen of Pentacles time for you. King of Pentacles time for you. Of all the cards, there aren't that many cards on the table here. But we have both King and Queen energy out, plus the Entrepreneur energy. So, and then we have the history here. We have the progression. We have the turns of the wheel. Absolutely. Okay. Well, Sagittarius. Ooh. Amazing. So this is like us. It's so, I can't even explain what it feels like to get this message from this person. And it actually might not be someone from your line. If I think about what I was saying at the beginning, I have had, like, I love the Mel Brown Oracle cards. Mel Brown is an Australian Aboriginal healer, and she's created at least 4 or 5 decks. I've owned all of them. I gave them to a Leo when Grandmother Spider asked me to, and I will get them. I will get new copies of them. But Mel Brown, excellent energy there, and so and one of them is a Dreamtime Oracle, which are direct messages from her ancestors. And so I went in search of other people, others, you know, who are not, I've got, my first house runs all the way, I'm deeply Scorpio, but my whole first house runs through all of Sagittarius into Capricorn. So I have traveled, I have gone after absolutely every puzzle piece I can think of where I've been led to go after. I took my son to Egypt when he was 10 because Spirit said he needs to go to Egypt right now. He'd come through 4 lawsuits, and he was 10 years old, and he needed deep spiritual stuff. So we went to Egypt. It's $177 in my pocket and a card on my dad's Visa account, and it was a very expensive journey. He did not pay for it. I paid for it. I worked it off. But the invitation came ahead of the means, right? So you go. And you worry about how you're going to pay it off later. But yes, this could be absolutely, and wouldn't that suit you to a T? This is somebody from outside your own background. Oh, that is funky. Love that. That's what I was pausing to consider. They had me pause. Yep. Yep. This is from outside. Now, I would say, according to this earth, maybe elsewhere in other dimensions, you guys... Okay, so I had to pause for a little while, charge up the battery, because I killed the other battery. And something that came through to me is why this ancestor from somebody else's lineage is... I mean, why not with a Sagittarius, right? You guys we go looking for them. But it's everything to do with, they are someone who was successful in this way. You're following in their footsteps, and that's why. That's why. So if you want clues as to who this is, then who in your life have you been picking up ideas about, yes, all along, that you were inspired by, didn't necessarily think that they would actually be working with you in your life, with your work. But if you start to allow for that, and then you'll get affirmations, and then other guides will start coming through if you're not already clear. But this person who is communicating with you today is somebody very much who was invested in this field of work while they were here. Something to do with it. Absolutely. And that's why You're part of that's, you know, you're part of the same team that came in to solve this part of the human problem, right? And so that's something that I don't know why I didn't think of saying that earlier, except that they didn't give it to me to say, or this person didn't give it to me to say until now. But yeah, that's exactly it, Sagittarius. So very exciting in terms of figuring out who this person is. And then there will be affirmations. And then you're working with them. Yes, in the mind meld, in the co-creation between the two of you at least. But there will be others as well. Probably more than you even know how to handle, if you don't already know who they are. But anyway, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to close it off there. And I get a sense of tremendous amount of security and balance, even from how this all laid out. If you ever look at other readings that I've done, or I put the cards down intuitively, sort of in places, and it can get extremely disorganized looking, just to mirror how disorganized the situation is. But this looks absolutely, look how symmetrical it is. Beautiful. Okay, Sagittarius, I'll be back in 2 weeks, and this is sensitive to the solar eclipse time, right? Okay, much love.